Hey, we're on Brunch with Brian, and so are you. So today, let's make it fun, right? What's life all about anyway? Let's make a game out of it. So, there's fun little games you can play with yourself that make your real estate investing more fun, especially the calls. The calls are really the core of the business, and yet they're kind of challenging sometimes. You have to kind of get yourself up mentally. How do you get yourself up mentally for calls? Affirmations. And I have a really great psych up called Psych Up for Closing Calls. If you don't have that, I actually created a video on that. And we used to give it out at all these events. So you may have it. If you ever got a DVD from us at some point live over the years, over the last, I don't know, I think I created this about 15 years ago. It's called Psych Up for Closing Calls. So if you are lucky enough to have some DVD from the Wolf Couple, you may not even have a way to play it anymore. But if you do, it's an amazing 7-minute video called Psych Up for Closing Calls. So that's a great way to get psyched up for closing calls. If you send me a nice email, I might send you the script for it. At least you can read the script. So there's a psych up for closing calls plus affirmations. Whenever I'm talking about mental control and having role control, so you're in the right role at the right moment, I'm always talking about psych ups. Psych ups and affirmations. Those are the two places that you get the words, the power words for your brain. Okay, so let's make it fun today. Here's another little sign. I like signs, right? So what does this sign say? It says, life is too short to be serious all the time. That's what it says. Life is too short to be serious all the time. So let's make it fun. What's a fun little game you can play with your closing calls? If you have our script packet, now this is an older version. We have one called the Creative Financing. I think it's called the Creative Financing Closing Call Guide, or Calling Guide. That's it. It's called the closing. It's called the Creative Financing Closing Guide. So if you have either version, the last page is this 50 closing calls checklist. So this 50 closing calls checklist is awesome and very helpful, and it can make it a game. It can make a fun game out of it. So we all want to have fun. We all want to, have fun, and it's all in how you approach it, because the sensations, the physical sensations for anxiety and excitement are the same. If you're getting ready to go on your favorite roller coaster and you're all excited and you're looking forward to it and you're eager, you're going to have the same physical reactions. Your palms are going to be a little sweaty. Your heart rate is going to be elevated. You might be a little sweaty. You might have a little shortness of breath. You're all worked up. Okay, well, guess what? Sometimes you kind of feel that way before you make closing calls, but you associate it with negativity. You think, oh, this is scary, or this makes me anxious. Okay, so that's when you got to say, hey, this is one of my favorites, my favorite affirmations. I am so excited. So that's what you say when you're right before. This is a good affirmation right before your phone calls. Actually, what I do is I clap my hands together like this, and then I rub them, and I say, I am so excited. All right, so that'll be our affirmation for today. So let's make it fun. Use that 50 closing calls checklist. If you have that booklet, it's in the back. If you are signed up for the What to Say and What to Do system, just go on your members website and access that 50 closing calls checklist form. It's in the forms section of the What to Say system. So that makes it fun, right? Makes kind of a game out of it. Hey, let me see how many calls I can make today. Hey, can I make 5 calls today? Can I make 10 calls today? How are my calls going to go? And I like to grade the calls. That makes it kind of a fun thing. So you see each box in this 50 closing calls checklist, every box is big enough where you can write a little bit of notes in there. Okay, so if you're keeping track of all 50 of your calls, how long should it take you to fill out that whole chart? Who knows that? About what? I always say 20 calls a week. If you can make 20 calls a week, you're doing good. So this would take, and they're not all going to be closing calls. So let's say you're making, I don't know, Well, yeah, I do want you to try to make 15 closing calls a week. So let's say you hit that, that'd be 2.5 weeks to fill this thing out. If it takes you, a whole month to fill out a 50 closing calls checklist, that's not terrible. That's actually not so bad. That's 12 calls basically a week. You can do better, but at least you're making progress. So let's make a game out of it. Let's all print off our 50 closing calls checklist or find it. Or if you guys don't have it, you can send me an email at support@thewolfcouple.com. And so I will send that to you. So let's make it fun. Let's make this business fun. Let's make our lives fun. And it's all up here. It's all in how you think about it. So use those affirmations. Those definitely make it more fun. And make sure you're approaching your life in a fun way. Like it says, life is too short to be serious all the time, right? All right, guys. So let's do our affirmation. Our affirmation is what? I am so excited. Okay. So let's say you're feeling a little nervous. You're about to get on the phone, right? You're kind of nervous. Okay. And then you say, ready? I'll do it together 3 times on 3. Ready? But I want to do this time. Normally we just pump our fists. On this one, I want you to do a clap and a rub. Okay. Ready? Okay. Ready? I am so excited. I am so excited. I am so excited. Oh man, that gets me excited. All right, somehow that rubbing of your hands together really gets you going. So guys, that's a good one. I want everybody to have a happy dance too. I mean, what do you do if something really good happens? What do you do if you're a sports fan like me? What do you do when your team wins? How do you celebrate? What's your happy dance? Everybody should have a happy dance, some way that you can gesture physically in motion. Motion creates emotion. So if you're doing your happy dance, you're feeling happy, right? So motion creates emotion. Never forget that, because that's one of the easiest concepts to apply. That's why we do affirmations and we clap our hands and rub them together and say, I am so excited, because that physical motion creates emotion. Okay, so let's do our deep breaths. That also creates emotion. Deep breath in. Okay, hold it a little bit. Let it go. Okay, another deep breath in. Hold it a little bit and let it go. Okay, one more deep one. Okay, great job, guys. Great job. I'm not seeing a lot of messages today. Normally I have like 10 messages to go through. And I love going through your messages. I love hearing from you guys. I love it when you chime in. And I love it when you make good points. I just love to see you here. So anything you say, just saying good morning, I love it. But, I love it when you make points too. Tony always is making a great point. Just had a great call with a motivated seller who came from a direct mail, open to terms. Excellent. Well, keep us updated on that one, Tony. Now let's get a deal meeting for tomorrow. Saturday is deal meeting Saturday. So see if you can get out to that house. If they're open at all, guys, that's the only thing. Now, I used to be picky about this. And I used to say, I'm not going out to that house until I know I have a deal. I'm going to have all 4 of my deal points worked out. What are the 4 deal points? Purchase price, monthly payment, length of term, down payment. We talked about it yesterday. And Caleb had that nice acronym for us. But purchase price, monthly payment, length of term, down payment. Those 4 things, you got to work those things out, right? And so when you're in the process of doing that, let's make it fun. Let's make it exciting. Let's work those things out and get that deal meeting set up, because I used to be very picky and not go out to the house until I had all 4 deal points pretty much established and agreed upon. I don't do it that way anymore. Now, well, I don't do the appointments all the time now. We have acquisitionists. However, we go out there. If you have somebody who says, yes, I'm open to monthly payments, that's enough for me nowadays. Okay. If they just don't give me a hard no on monthly payments, I say, let's go out there and look at the house and see what we can make work out. Now, I still want you to try to do as much negotiating on the phone as you can, because why? Because you can read the script. It's right there in front of you and they can't see that you're reading. So you're going to be able to most thoroughly and accurately cover the content and close the deal, because you're going to have the script right in front of you. So I want you to make attempts to to negotiate all 4 Pretty House deal points, all 4 creative financing deal points. But if you don't get them all in stone, don't hesitate to go out there and set the appointment and go and look at the house. I can't buy a house until I see it, so why don't I just come out and take a look at it, and we can talk more about this when I get to your house. Okay, so if you don't get something in stone, you just say, that's great, we can work it out. We'll talk more about it when I come and see the house. Okay, so that's a really good tip. Didn't have a lot of comments today for some reason, and so I'm not gonna take any more time today. And let's do our deep breathing. Ready? Nice deep breath in. Hold it a little bit and let it go. Another deep breath in and let it go. We usually do these right after our affirmation. Deep breath in. Excellent. Okay, don't forget, affirmations and psych ups will keep your mind right so that you can make your closing calls and have fun with it. Okay, so let's have fun. Life is too short to be serious all the time. So let's have fun. Let's have a great weekend. And guys, anytime you have notes about deals that you're working on, I always like to hear about that, like Tony did. So don't ask me. You don't feel afraid. Don't hesitate to ask me questions in that too. Just put them in the chat here, and then I can read them out. Okay. All right. So have a great weekend. Have fun this weekend. Make the business fun for yourself by thinking the right way. All right. So I will see you on Monday. And until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training from the Wolf Couple, and taking